Hello, friends. This is Katie Max, the badass CEO of Audacious Leadership. And today is day 10. Yes, indeedy. Day 10 of my 365-day Facebook Live challenge. And I'm so happy to be with you today. So I'm going to talk to you about discomfort. In order to live a pleasure-filled life, it really takes the ability and tenacity to be with your feelings of discomfort. That's where we grow, that's where we expand, that's where we learn. And in a culture that tells us we should know everything and have all the shit figured out, it's really hard to expand and stretch and learn because so many of us are so afraid of being judged or ridiculed or dismissed, all the things that just hurt our feelings, really. And so I just want to encourage you to notice when you are uncomfortable. And instead of making up a story about it and putting it in a box, just let yourself feel it. Where is it in your body? Like, what's going on? Right? And without adding a story to it, like, oh, I'm feeling this way because blah, 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 blah. And it's usually that you are berating yourself. It's just feelings that are moving through your body. So I'm going to share with you an experience I had this last week with expansion and then contraction. And it was so powerful and such a good reminder that the only way out is through. The only way to more pleasure is to be uncomfortable. So who's here? Denise, mwah! I love you so much. I'm so happy you're here. So the topic is discomfort. So on Tuesday, I decided to share with you a tool that I use, which is mirror work and dancing in front of the mirror and loving on my body and celebrating my body and adorning it with, like a beautiful kind of onesie teddy and just feeling beautiful. And so to put that out to you, to all of you that were going to be watching it, it took so much courage. I was in so much discomfort, but it's also my truth. And one of the things that I am really here to do to support you in being liberated is to liberate myself as well. And so after the dance, I was so excited. I was just like, oh my goddess, that was such a breakthrough for me to be so vulnerable on the internet, right? It was like, oh my goddess, that was amazing. And I sat down and I showed my partner and he was looking at it and just smiling. I mean, just ear to ear smile. And it was really a wonderful celebration. And then the next morning I got up and I was totally freaked out. Like, oh my goddess. And I went down the tube of fear. Like, what are people going to think? Who saw it? Are people going to judge me? Was that too much? Because I was born and raised with the too much conversation, right? Like, you're too much. Remember, you're too much. So it just dredged up that conversation. And then I got really scared, like, oh my goddess, I wonder if my family's going to see it. I wonder if my neighbors are going to see it. What are they going to think? And then I just sat with myself. Instead of going on with the stories and giving it meaning, I just sat with the discomfort. And by quieting my mind, it was like I just got to celebrate me again and say, oh, honey bunny, like I self-soothed again. It's like all is well. You are stepping into like the fullness of who you are publicly. And so there's going to be people that like it. There's going to be people that don't like it. And really, it's none of my business, right? I'm here to inspire you to be all of you. That's been my life's journey. Right? Stop tamping it down and be all of who you are and find the community that will support you and celebrate you in being all of who you are. Right? So one of the things we do is we make up a lot of shit that's old and we attach it to our discomfort. So again, I just want to say, like, quiet your mind. Say, you know what? That's old. That's not present. What is present? Oh, what was present is I put myself out there. It was raw. Right? And I just was like, wow, that was really amazing. And I was thinking if someone else did it and I got to see it, I would feel so blessed. right? So those were the conversations I started to have. And that's learning to be with the discomfort, right? At some point when you're berating yourself, you just got to stop. Just stop and say, you know what? Old stuff, get in the back seat. I'm ready to expand into all of who I am. And in order for you to be liberated, in order for me to be liberated, that is a requirement, right? To stretch and grow and be in the unknown. So if you think of any time you've taken a class and you didn't know something and a teacher called on you and you were embarrassed, it's like, that's part of learning. That's part of growing, right? So making friends with uncomfortableness will serve you so profoundly. And it will bring you back to pleasure at a faster rate than going down the habitual tube of being cruel to yourself, putting yourself down, judging yourself, doing what you are so afraid that other people are going to do, you do to yourself, right? That's the shit we get to knock off because it keeps us debilitated. So I just invite you to stretch whatever that looks like. It looks different for all of us, but each time you stretch, you will have an experience that is greater than you had before that will inspire you for more. So again, yesterday I talked about desires. Even having thoughts about desires can be uncomfortable because there's conversations like, oh, other people get that good stuff. I don't. You got to knock that off and say, I'm focusing on what I want. Right? Anytime there is expansion, contraction will come and you don't need to make up any stories about it. That's just the way it rolls. So that's what I got for you today. Yes, Denise, discomfort. We're making friends with it and we're letting it light us up because that's where all the magic happens, in growth, in the unknown, in the exploration. So have a glorious rest of your day or evening, and thank you so much for being here. And I would love to hear from you because it just lights me up to know that we're in conversation. So feel free to make comments in the comment section, and I will be back tomorrow with more magic and more pleasure. Mwah! Be well. I love you all.